I work with many different kinds of people, and there's a certain group that comes in with fear of driving. But everybody comes in with some hesitation or some concern or anxiety, or some come in with really high anxiety and great fear. And what I actually see, all my years of doing this and all my research into crashing and everything about how to keep away and prevent and help people learn it, I truly believe that this hyper awareness with some of my clients about the fear and the concerns and the danger, it's kind of like I surprise them, because I actually say right off the bat, immediately, that I highly respect your fear. And I highly respect your hyper-awareness, even the anxiety associated with being in a car. And people go, well, why? What do you mean? Listen, I believe that your extreme awareness of, the dangers of driving is real. Like, real in the sense that it's a real danger. I mean, if you look at all the activities that we ever do in a day, when do you ever hear about somebody being hurt or seriously injured? It's a car crash. And if you look at the research and the statistics about it, it's unbelievable how high the incident is that's what you're going to get caught in if you're going to get into trouble. Not to mention the financial issues that you face when you get near a car, and what a fender bender costs, what the insurance costs, the injury, and then the health care of the injury, and then the long-term effect, and then, go right across to, death and injury and serious injuries. The truth is the death is quite small in this part of the world, which is Canada and BC, compared to other places in the world like the United States, Russia, or China. So depending on where you're going, your sensitivity and fear should change. It should definitely increase in some places. But here, one of the safest modes of transportation per kilometer is a car. Much safer than riding a bike and even walking. So that should satisfy you in a sense that, really it's safer in a car? Yeah, do the research and find out. But going back to the anxiety and the fear, I wish my instructors had that really strong hyper sense of concern and fear out there, because you should. Because it is dangerous. Every time you're driving, there's a risk associated with someone making a mistake, or somebody missing the red light coming through the other side, or, even a mechanical failure of a car, or a loss of attention and they swerve out, across the line or something. So to be aware of that and to be sensitive to it is to be sensitive to the risks and the danger of it. And I think that's a terrific way to actually drive a car. But you need to get the competencies and your abilities up high enough to actually balance out your hyper awareness of the danger of bikes and cars and everything around you. And you can do that because you're going to drive for years anyways. You can get better and better and better at it. So that hyper awareness is a really strong bubble concern of what's really out there in the environment. You could say it's actually kind of fits into the whole concept of defensive driving, even though I don't really like that term. But it's that sort of really hyper aware of what's going on around to make sure that you're doing everything possible to move at the lowest possible risks. So it's a great concern, I think. When I get a client in the seat who's got some sense of fear or anxiety, it's a terrific strategy to come in and just absorb all the information and build up your competencies to it. I just love it. They're great people to work with. Now, here, talking a little bit about people who get in the car that have absolutely no fear. And they get in the car, where I go, and I'm like, you're not concerned about, safety or anything like, no, not at all. What are you scared about, man? Or sometimes when they're driving with me, they'll look over and my foot will go over to my dual brake. Oh, are you scared? They'll ask it like it's like it's a funny thing or a bad thing. And I mean, I'm very candid. I'm like, yes, that's why my foot's going over the brake. It's how I manage the reality of the dangers out here. Why? You're not scared? You just think there's no danger? So the truth is, if I get somebody behind the wheel of my car and they have no fear, if that's true, I'm scared. I am truly frightened because now I have fear. And I fear them. I don't fear driving because I'm okay in control and I'm very actively aware of what's going on and I can keep driving the car from my side, but I do fear them. And I don't really know how to instill a seriousness in that person or a seriousness for the risks and the dangers I don't know how to get them to understand that there's fear. There should be fear. My gosh, what's going on here? You're ignoring the reality of the danger here? 1.3 million people a year die in cars. Up to 50 million injured in cars every year. 1,000 collisions a day in BC. And you have no fear at all? So what am I supposed to do with that person? How do I get them to understand the fear? Well, the classic answer would be, let them get scared. Let them take your car and do something really stupid and just about get wiped off the face of the earth by a truck. Oh, that's good. That's good education for them, right? That would really help them. Oh, that's a good idea. But there's a problem. The problem is I'm sitting right beside them while they're trying to learn this silliness. So come to me with fear. I am very, very pleased because you're making my job a lot easier. Okay.